Hello there! Once again, it's Anton from Anton Will Bay with another action figure from my vacation that I'm still on. So I'm in North Carolina. I am a long ways from the collection room. And I keep finding action figures across the country that should have been sold out ages ago that are still there. And what I got today is a Gigi Dolin or a Gigi Dolin. I'm pretty sure it's Gigi. I'm not familiar with the character. But it's Series 138. I bought it because it is the first time in the line. It is a beautiful figure. I do love my wrestling figures. I also picked up the JC Jane from the same line. And at first I looked in there and I thought it was, oh, what did Becky Lynch do to herself? But then I was like, oh no, it's a completely new figure. Well, I've never heard of her. Let me get that. Like, I gotta get it. If it's new in the line, I love getting first time in the line figures. I try to keep up on a little bit of it. I wouldn't say I'm still like an avid crazy collector and I'm not watching wrestling like I used to. Or I should say I'm not watching WWE. I do enjoy watching Title Match and a couple of other products like that. But I stay away from WWE. So unless I've seen these gals in some of those capacities or from a couple years ago, I don't really know who most of them are. But I do enjoy, I just love the sport of professional wrestling. And so even though I don't know most of the characters, I can appreciate the costumes, the looks, the outfits, and I love getting figures. So on to Gigi here. Of course, like I said, I thought it was Becky Lynch at first because I'm like, it's a redhead. But no, it's a much shorter redhead. Like, the figure itself is much shorter. She is rendered much paler than Becky Lynch, which is probably also appropriate. I don't see her snakebite piercings added to the figure like is on the package, but I'm okay with that. The paint looks fine. This looks better, this orange work here. They did an excellent job on the tattoo. Oof, it's a little bit stiffer. She has not been sitting out in the car quite as long. Most of the others have been sitting out in the sun, so they feel really pliable and nice. And maybe I should just do that more often. She does come with knee pads. And I guess we'll go through the articulation. It's not that fantastic. It's pretty standard for your basics. It's basically like everything else I've looked at. It's the crappy dumbbell ball joint in the neck. Her hair sculpt does look new to me though, and looks quite good. There's no paint in it at all, but there's wonderful paint on the face. You've got ball joints at the shoulder, which are fine. That one looks a little on the dirty side. The aforementioned slightly short forearms, the ball joint with a rotation at the wrist, and the wrists that rotate. Yeah, the arms are just a little bit, they could have balanced that just a touch better. Rotation at the waist, excellent paintwork on the underpants here. There is one, oh no, that was just dust. Ball joints at the hips, which they did quite well on these as far as coloring. Single jointed knees, calf rotation, and nothing else, because it is a basic, but it's a good basic. And you know, a good basic is not a bad figure at all. Certainly worth the price point that they want for these things, which is, I believe, $12 now everywhere that I stopped. They're pretty much the same across the country. I thought they would be maybe a little more or maybe a little less. They do seem to be holding their own everywhere else. Comparison with everybody else I've got on this trip, the first town I stopped in, I got Terrell, Texas. I ended up getting a Nikki and a Carmella. And then I picked up these two in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm happy with both of them. And they're both from the same line, and there was both multiples of them. I couldn't believe they weren't sold yet. But I was very happy to get this set of figures as I travel across the country, because these are things that should have been sold out. They would have been sold out where I was, but they weren't here, and I appreciate that. So just an add to the collection as I travel across the country, and it's kind of nice to not be carrying all the packaging now. I can kind of button them down a little bit easier to move. So thank you guys for watching. That's my story, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.